What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Concerned Sports Fan YouTube channel. And first of all, before we get into this video, I want to say a big thank you to all of you guys who did check out the 24-hour road trip to Dodger Stadium video that I posted up a little while ago. It's doing really well. 60 views already so far. And if you guys haven't checked it out so far, I will leave a little thumbnail clip right over here, so you guys can go ahead and check that out after you guys are done watching this video. But if you guys could check that video out, I put a lot of effort into it just to making that whole trip possible and just to make that whole editing process possible, because it was a nightmare. But we are here again, and we're here to make another video. And because I am a big fan of the stock market and I like to buy and sell stocks from time to time, you know, why not buy and sell stocks from the NFL teams? And by that, I mean we're going to be buying and selling or possibly holding NFL teams. I'm going to let you know more about that in a minute. So when I mean buying or selling, I mean, do we really think this team is good enough to make it to the playoffs or make it even further? Or are we going to sell them because, you know, maybe it's just a bunch of hype and maybe they're just doing pretty well because they're not playing against good opponents or they're just getting lucky? Now, I will be going through a list of teams that are either 500 or above. I'm not going to waste my time going with teams who are under 500 because a lot of teams are either going to be tanking or they're just really just that bad and there's really no hope for them. So, 500 above teams only. I have about 17 teams on this list. I'm going to try and run through them as quick as possible. I don't think this video is going to be really long, so if you guys could just stick through it, I would really appreciate it. But we're going to get started right away with the New England Patriots. So, am I buying this undefeated New England Patriots team? Yes. See, this is what we call in the market a sure thing. In the market, there is no sure things a lot of times because it's very rare to find them. But New England has always been that team that's always been there. They've always had a good defense, and they have Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Now, if you have 3 out of the 4 things that I just mentioned, they're gonna be good. Now, unfortunately, Tom Brady hasn't been himself lately. He hasn't been having that same arm strength that he's had recently, and it kind of reminds me of Peyton Manning in his last year with the Broncos, where they're relying very heavily on their defense, and at the same time, you're not really expecting Tom Brady to do much. But unfortunately, it is Tom Brady, so we do expect him to do much. He's possibly the best quarterback to ever play the game, possibly the best player to ever play the game. So we do have high expectations for him. But luckily, the Patriots defense has been able to carry them throughout most of the season. They have been shutting down most of their opponents throughout the rest of the league. And when you play in the AFC West like they do, the only teams you really have to worry about right now are the Buffalo Bills, who are also undefeated. But we'll get to them in a sec. But for the Patriots, they've always been in the playoffs every year since I could remember, honestly. I think they've been going to the playoffs every year since I've been born. And it's kind of crazy if you come to think about it. So they're always going to clinch number 1 or 2 seed. They're always going to have home field advantage. Even if they don't have home field advantage, like they know like they're going to be there. So it's no point of not writing the Patriots in there. So for the Patriots, yes, I am buying it. I am buying in. I am buying in on them because they do have Tom Brady. They still do have Bill Belichick. That defense is crazy, and they've been there time after time. They've won Super Bowl after Super Bowl, and it'd be kind of ridiculous if you don't have them in there. Moving on, we have the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Buffalo Bills are 4-1. Think about that. The Buffalo Bills are 4-1. Now, if the season was to end today, they would be in the playoffs. Now, do I think they can continue to hold this good run of form? Possibly. Their schedule isn't that hard because they still have to play Miami one more time. They still have to play the Jets one more time, but unfortunately, they still have to do the Patriots one more time. Now, keep that in consideration. That's at least 2 more wins and 1 loss that they're going to be adding onto the record. Josh Allen has taken that step forward as quarterback, but the only thing I have against them is that they haven't played the best type of competition yet. Yes, they did beat the Jets. They did beat the Giants. So you're kind of figuring out, like, are they really that good, or is it just they haven't played good teams yet? And there's a lot of teams on this list that are like that. But am I buying, selling, or holding? Right now, I'm holding on the Buffalo Bills because I want to see how they get to a little bit further on into the season, and I will make another video recapping at the end of the season to see what my projections are going forward. But I am holding. I wouldn't be surprised if they did make the playoffs because they are such on a good run of form. But at the same time, if they didn't make the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised either. Now, with that said, they did get rid of some few pieces. Like they did get rid of Kyle Allen. They did get rid of LaShawn McCoy, but they still did add Frank Gore, who's a little bit of an older upgrade, but he's consistent. But at the same time, it's like you settled for an older running back. But they still have Singletary in their backfield, who has been pretty well if he stays healthy. Cole Beasley hasn't really been doing much here or there, but I mean, their defense has really been relying on them, honestly. They've been relying a lot on their defense, like a lot of teams have been nowadays, because teams decide to throw the ball 40 or 50 times that you're going to have to need a defense to want to play a pretty solid game that it doesn't happen to you. So the Buffalo Bills, with the way that they're playing at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if they did make the playoffs at the same time. If they did make the playoffs, it's the Buffalo Bills. What you expect? So with the Ravens, the only reason I'm buying in on the Ravens is because they have no competition in the AFC North. Now, the Steelers have no quarterback. They're down to the third-string quarterback. Their defense is a little suspect, and if you have a third-string quarterback, you're not really going to be going that deep into the playbook where you're not going to be throwing the ball 30, 40 yards. You're going to be little dink throw-off balls. You're going to be running the ball a lot. And I'm not saying James Conner can't do that, but at the same time, if you're not utilizing your weapons on the outside, then unfortunately you're not going to be doing much. Now, they did upgrade their secondary by adding in Minka Fitzpatrick, but at the same time, like I said, no quarterback, no wins in the NFL, unfortunately. So with the Ravens, I have no objections to them to say that they're not going to make the playoffs, because unfortunately at the moment they are the number 2 or number 3 seed, because they have beaten a few teams, but at the same time, the Bengals haven't won a game yet. The Steelers have only won 1 or 2 games yet. And then the Browns have just not showed up this season. So I'm going to buy into the Ravens at the moment because they will make the playoffs, because they have no competition in the AFC North. But other than that, I don't see them making past the first or second round. Maybe they get a wild card spot playing against the wild card teams. I could see them winning that game, but after that, it's going to be kind of difficult to see them going forward. But like I said, Lamar Jackson has been putting up some really good numbers, running the ball a lot, throwing the ball pretty decently, but like I said, against some subpar defenses. But honestly, I think they're going to make the playoffs again this year because of Lamar Jackson, but that's probably going to be the end game for them. With the Houston Texans, I do have a little bit of doubts with them, because the Houston Texans, their defense has been a little suspect. They did get rid of Jadeveon Clowney in the offseason. And so you're kind of thinking to yourself, like, all right, is their defense still that good? And for the most part, their defense has been holding up. They are 3-2 at the moment. They are tied with the Colts with the number 1 for the number 1 position in the AFC South. Now, I did expect them to be a little bit better. Now they have been playing some good offense because of Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, and Will Fuller. So they have been relying a lot on their pass game, but Deshaun Watson can make some plays on his legs, so which is a good thing. And I do really expect them to make the playoffs. So I am buying in on the Houston Texans, but at the same time, it's like I really want to see that Houston offensive line hold up a little bit more, so you're not seeing Deshaun Watson on his back. Now, going forward, they are going to play a couple more teams in their division, so it could be a little issue there, because in the division, they're not really that good. But outside of the division, they've been flourishing a little bit more. They lost a really close one to the Saints. They just knocked off the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Chiefs have been kind of struggling as of late, but we'll get into them in a bit. At the same time, are we buying or selling? We're going to be buying in on these guys. They are going to make the playoffs, maybe as a number 4 seed, because I don't think they'll have the best overall record when it comes to division clinching winners. They'll probably have a number 4 seed and play against a wild card team and probably win against one of those wild card teams and make it onto the divisional round, and that's probably about it for them. But I am buying in on them because it's surely just on Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt, and DeAndre Hopkins. Now with the Colts, I am going to be selling off the Colts because I don't think they'll make the playoffs either as a wild card or as a divisional champion. Jacoby Brissett has been doing a really great job filling in for Andrew Luck, who retired before the season even started. And with Marlon Mack in the backfield, T.Y. Hilton in the wide receiver room, and then Darius Leonard, who is on the middle linebacker position. They have a really good team, but the thing is, they're very inconsistent. Unfortunately, if you have inconsistencies in your team, you're not gonna have good progress going forward. Now, with that being said, the only reason I'm selling off the Colts is because they have very inconsistent quarterback play. They don't have a solid quarterback. Now, with Jacoby Brissett, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback and all. He's a very good game manager, which means he's not turning the ball over as much. He's making quick little plays here and there, and Marlon Mack is carrying the load. I mean, with the Colts, like I said, they're inconsistent. They're going to play against their division a couple more times. They lost to some very beatable teams. So I am going to be selling off the Colts. I don't think they'll either make the playoffs as a wild card or as a divisional champion. And unfortunately, I think their road stops at like 8-8 possibly. Now, with the Chiefs, I am completely 100% buying in on them. Now, that being said, though, they do have some things to work on in their defense. Their defense has been suspect since last year, and getting rid of some pieces like D Ford and not replacing those pieces, you're kind of just relying heavily on your offense, which they can do because they have Patrick Mahomes, they have LaShawn McCoy, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and Sammy Watkins now in that outfield wide receiver position. But like I said, you've lost some really winnable games. You lost to the Houston Texans last week, and those are games that you have to win if you want to continue to be that number 1, number 2 seed. Now, with that being said, I am completely still buying in on him because I still believe that Andy Reid has a couple more adjustments in his back pocket, and Mahomes is still going to be throwing up 40, 50 touchdowns, and he only has 1 pick so far this season. And the losses have not been the losses that they have occurred has not been coming because of their offense not playing great. It's their defense has been suspect. Now, but if you play against the Patriots again in the AFC Championship game, you might get called out on that defense not being as great as it should be. Relying heavily on your offense can get you into some big trouble because if you play against some big defenses, you're not going to have the same success you do against others. And then having your defense go up against somebody else who is actually just above decent is going to get you into some trouble. With Kansas City Chiefs, I do expect them to make the playoffs and win their division. But at the same time, if they don't shore up that defense, they might not make it past the AFC Championship game again. Now, with the Raiders, this is the last thing I'll be covering in this video. I will be doing just an AFC video this time, and I'll do an NFC video next time. With the Raiders, I'm still going to be buying in on them. I'm still going to buy in and hold on them with my Raiders. John Gruden has been progressing little by little this season, so I do have some faith that they will get it together, and Derek Carr will get back to the MVP form that he was before he got hurt the first time around. I don't think he'll be throwing around 40 or 50 touchdowns. I do expect him to be a good game manager for us and not turn over the ball, have Josh Jacobs do most of the running game for us. At the same time, just be consistent on offense where we don't have to put our defense in tough predicaments. Now, with that being said, our defense has been a little suspect lately because we did lose a lot of key pieces lately. We did lose Vontaze Burfict. We did lose Jonathan Abrams at the beginning of the season after getting hurt after the first game. Our secondary has been getting exposed here and there, but mainly our defensive line has been holding up pretty strongly. Now, with that being said, I still am buying in on the Raiders to make a wild card spot. We are not going to win the division, unfortunately, because Kansas City is still there and they're going to be going strong for the next few years. We are in second place in our division at the moment, and we're holding that second wild card spot at the moment because we did beat the Colts, and the Colts are in second place in their division. But I really, really am hoping for the best, honestly, but expecting the worst, where either we get that wild card spot and play against the Chiefs or play against the, who knows who else, the Ravens or something in the first round for the wild card position. But at the same time, I'm not going to be surprised if we don't win or even make a wild card position because our defense does not hold their weight. Now, with that being said, that is my AFC rundown of buying and selling. I will do an NFC version of this video probably by tomorrow or the day after. But if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications. Share it with your friends. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think down below. Who is probably the best team in the AFC at the moment? Leave your comments down below. And like I said, I'm the Concerned Sports Fan, and I will see you guys later.